Mr. Trump, one of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
They don't know who they're dealing with. That, of course, was one of the all-time greatest moments in presidential debates, and we got the big one coming up tonight. But it may indeed all be far too late for the bumbling Biden campaign to recover. We got the latest election forecast from none other than the Democrat darling Nate Silver himself. Wait until you see what he's predicting. And if you can believe it, in addition to that, just hours before the debate, the Democrats may have just gotten their worst news yet. Wait till you see this. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, you guys saw Biden's freeze at his recent White House event, right? Obama actually had to escort him off the stage. I mean, his decline is so painfully obvious. This event is sparking debate, which is why I'm grateful for today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that gathers news from across the political spectrum into one place, saving me time sifting through sources. Try them at ground.news/Steve. Ground.news/Steve. Here's the story on Biden's inability to walk himself off stage. Ground News shows 19 articles covering the story, with only 12% coming from left-leaning sources. Clearly, the left doesn't want to highlight Biden's decline. Ground News helps train your mind to recognize bias based on headlines, too. You can actually see how a left-leaning source puts freeze in quotations while the right states it plainly. My favorite feature is their blind spot feed. It lets you see which stories are disproportionately covered by the left or the right. I can't imagine why liberals wouldn't want their base knowing Trump is nearly 20 points ahead of Biden in an Iowa poll. With the election coming up, I highly recommend Ground News. Go to ground.news/Steve. Again, that's ground.news/Steve, or just simply click on that link below or scan the QR code on the screen. Use my link for 40% off the Vantage plan that I use for unlimited access to all their features. Ground News is doing important work, and I hope you'll check them out. The much hyped up so-called wonder kid of polling, Nate Silver, has just dropped his first official forecast for November, and it's not even close. Or in his words, the election right now is not a toss-up. There is a clear favorite. Right now, as we speak, Nate Silver is giving Donald J. Trump a 66% chance of victory over Biden on November 5th. 66%. Now, just so you know, this corroborates almost to the number The Economist's current forecast model, which gives Trump a 68% chance of winning. Again, two different methodologies, two different polling samples, two different approaches and the like, and yet they're both coming to comparable numbers, 66 and 68. And for Nate Silver, it really does seem to come down to the swing states. In fact, he wrote that the 2024 race looks a lot like 2012, which he correctly predicted Obama would win. It looks a lot like 2012, but in reverse. In 2012, the national polls were pretty close between Romney and Obama, but all the swing state polls consistently favored Obama, and that played out to give him the far more robust electoral map on Election Day. That appears to be exactly what we're seeing here, but in reverse. Now it's the challenger, Trump, who's dominating the swing states, not the incumbent. But even the national polls look like they're beginning to reflect Trump's swing state dominance. I mean, take a look at the latest coming from the New York Times. This is their poll that just dropped. It's Trump up by 4, 48 to 44 among likely voters. Among registered voters, it's Trump up by 6. And that's huge because, remember, Trump voters are low propensity voters. They generally don't come out for midterm elections or off-year elections, but they come out in droves for Trump. And take a look at the latest from Quinnipiac. Remember, Quinnipiac is about as pro-Democrat of a poll as you can get, but take a look at what just dropped in the last 24 hours. This is crazy. Trump's opened up a 4-point lead. Trump is up 4 in one of the most pro-Democrat polls out there. Just to give you a sense of where we are right now, take a look at their findings over the last 6 months. So back in January, Quinnipiac had Biden up by 6. Now, again, that was an outlier. Virtually all the other polls had Trump up, but good old reliable Democrat Quinnipiac, good old liberal Quinnipiac, gave Biden some breathing room in the aggregate and put him up 6 points over Trump. Then in February, it was Biden plus 4. We'll fast forward to May. It was Biden plus 1. And now in June, even Quinnipiac can't deny it anymore. It's now Trump plus 4. Welcome to the party, Quinnipiac. Oh, and it gets worse. It gets worse. Look at this, gang. This is the latest favorability polling coming from Gallup. Look at this. It's Trump by nearly double digits. Voters have a more favorable view of Trump over Biden by 9 points. Biden's stuck in the 30s. He's literally sinking in the 30s. According to Gallup, Biden has fallen from a favorability rating of 60% back in January of 2021 to now in the mid-30s. Trump's the opposite. He's gone from a favorability in the mid-30s in January of 2021 to now 46%, a 10-point increase as opposed to Biden's near 30-point decrease. Now, here's the poll that I told you about at the beginning of this video. This is the poll that may, in fact, really be the final nail in the Democrats' coffin. Take a look at this. This is a Washington Post poll of swing state voters. Among swing state voters, when asked, who do you trust more to protect democracy? It's Trump by double digits. Trump up by 11, 44 to 33. They even polled under 30 voters, and they found that it's Trump by 9, 38 to 29. You cannot even begin to overestimate how devastating this is for Biden and the Democrats. This was it. I mean, gang, seriously. We all talk about them rigging the election. This was the rig. They can't fall back on the 70% mail-in ballot fiasco of 2020. 70% of all ballots cast in 2020 were mail-in ballots. That's not going to happen again in November. Arizona's cleaned up and regulated their elections. Georgia's cleaned up and regulated their elections. Wisconsin's Supreme Court has declared ballot harvesting unconstitutional in their state. 2020 is not happening again as far as we can see. And so the Democrats turn to this weaponized legalism, this lawfare, in the hopes of convincing you that were Trump to be reelected, in order to protect his own hide, he would end democracy. That was told to me personally by a lifelong Democrat. If Trump wins, he's going to end elections so as to avoid legal accountability for his actions. I was told that personally. A vote for Trump is a vote against democracy. That has been literally their entire campaign, and it has failed. And it has failed miserably. It's failed by double digits. The Washington Post poll is beyond devastating for the Democrats. So all of this is to say that as we approach the debate tonight, which may in fact be Trump and Biden's only debate, the details of the second one have as of yet to be worked out. As we approach the debate tonight, Trump clearly has the winds at his back. Biden is without question in dire straits, and I frankly don't know if a single debate performance can have any hope of rescuing Biden's increasingly desperate campaign. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special declaration of restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.